Good day, children. So let's continue with the second part. One day, when I was in the 5th standard at the Rameshwaram Elementary School, a new teacher came to our class. I used to wear a cap which marked me as a Muslim, and I always sat in the front row next to Ramananda Shastri, who wore the sacred thread. The new teacher could not stomach a Hindu priest's son sitting with a Muslim boy. In accordance with our social ranking, as a new teacher saw it, I was asked to go and sit on the back bench. I felt very sad, and so did Ramananda Shastri. He looked utterly downcast as I shifted to my seat in the last row. The image of him weeping when I shifted to the last row left a lasting impression on me. So, Dr. Kalam belonged to a Muslim family, so they used to wear a cap on their head, so which identified him as a Muslim. And Ramananda Shastri, who was a priest of the Rameshwaram temple, obviously a Brahmin, used to wear the sacred thread worn by the Brahmins. So when these children, they were in 5th standard, a new teacher came to their class, and Dr. Kalam recalls an incident which happened then. He says how this new teacher could not tolerate that a Hindu priest's son was sitting next to a Muslim boy. And Dr. Kalam used to sit with Ramananda Shastri in the front row. So the teacher could not digest this, that he told Dr. Kalam to go and sit on the last bench, as he belonged to a lower rank of the society. In those days, Hindus were considered to be higher in rank, because that was the hierarchy which existed in our country. So it was always the Hindus who had the upper hand, and they were considered to be highest ranked people in the society, and other religions were considered to be of lower rank. So this new teacher did not like that a Muslim boy was sitting next to a Hindu priest's son. So he asked him to go and sit on the back bench. Now both the children felt very bad. When Dr. Kalam changed his seat and went back and sat on the last bench, Ramananda Shastri felt so bad. And Dr. Kalam still remembers the image of his friend Ramananda Shastri crying. And it gave him a lifelong impression on Kalam, that is his friends' feelings for him. Okay, how much his friends loved him, and how much of all these incidents had the effect on him. After school, we went home and told our respective parents about the incident. Lakshmana Shastri summoned the teacher, and in our presence told the teacher that he should not spread the poison of social inequality and communal intolerance in the minds of innocent children. He bluntly asked the teacher to either apologize or quit the school and the island. Not only did the teacher regret his behavior, but the strong sense of conviction Lakshmana Shastri conveyed ultimately reformed this young teacher. So, both the children, they went home and told their respective parents about the incident. And Ramananda Shastri's father, Lakshmana Shastri, called this new teacher and scolded him. Now, he told the teacher to not kill the friendship in these children by putting this, venomous discrimination of caste and religion into their innocent minds. Children don't know about caste and religion. Okay, why do you have to bring such a differentiation into their friendship? So, summoned means called, and he bluntly asked. Bluntly means speaking in a very direct and honest way, even though it may offend or upset someone else. Apologize is to seek pardon. Quit means to leave. Okay, so Lakshmana Shastri was very clear in himself, and he told the teacher that either you are sorry for the wrong that you have done, or else leave the school and Rameshwaram town also. Okay, so not only did the teacher ask sorry for the mistake he had done, and due to Lakshmana Shastri's determination, strong sense of conviction means strong opinion or belief of Lakshmana Shastri, the young teacher changed his thoughts about religion and caste. Okay, conveyed means to communicate. Okay. On the whole, the small society of Rameshwaram was very rigid in terms of segregation of different social groups. However, my science teacher, Shiva Subramanya Iyer, though an orthodox Brahmin with a very conservative wife, was something of a rebel. He did his best to break social barriers so that people from varying backgrounds could mingle easily. He used to spend hours with me and would say, "Kalam, I want you to develop so that you are on par with the highly educated people of the big cities. So, the division of society was into four groups in our country: Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. Now, this division of society was strictly followed in Rameshwaram also. And that is why he says that, Rameshwaram was very rigid in terms of segregation of different social groups. Now, the different social groups were Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. Rigid means strict, segregation means separation. Okay, but Dr. Kalam says that his science teacher, Shivasubramania Iyer, was a religious person. He was an orthodox Brahmin, but he was also a very rebellious person. That is, somebody who was in opposition to the set rules. His teacher did not believe in distinction on the basis of caste system. So he worked very hard to break these social barriers, and he wanted the people of different castes to interact with each other. He had a wife who was very conservative. Conservative is traditional. Okay, his wife was very traditional, whereas the teacher was a rebellious person. And the teacher encouraged Dr. Kalam to work hard so that Dr. Kalam could be at the same level as the highly educated people who lived in big cities. On par is same level. Okay. One day he invited me to his home for a meal. His wife was horrified at the idea of a Muslim boy being invited to dine in her ritually pure kitchen. She refused to serve me in her kitchen. Shivasubramania Iyer was not perturbed, nor did he get angry with his wife, but instead served me with his own hands and sat down beside me to eat his meal. His wife watched us from behind the kitchen door. I wondered whether she had observed any difference in the way I ate rice, drank water, or cleaned the floor after the meal. When I was leaving his house, Shivasubramania Iyer invited me to join him for dinner again the next weekend. Observing my hesitation, he told me not to get upset, saying, "Once you decide to change the system, such problems have to be confronted." When I visited his house the next week, Shivasubramania Iyer's wife took me inside her kitchen and served me food with her own hands. So, Dr. Kalam gives an incident which took place. Shivasubramania Iyer's wife belonged to a very traditional and orthodox Brahmin family. So, she followed the religion very strictly. And to keep the kitchen pure means no one from an inferior religion was allowed to enter their kitchen. That was the rule in the earlier times. So when Shivasubramania Iyer called Dr. Kalam for dinner at his home, Shivasubramania Iyer's wife feared that a boy from a Muslim family would make her kitchen impure. So she refused to serve him food in her kitchen. Now, Shivasubramania Iyer was neither upset nor angry, and he served the food to Dr. Kalam himself, and he sat down beside him to eat. And Shivasubramania Iyer's wife stood beside the kitchen door and looked at Dr. Kalam while he was having food. So Dr. Kalam says, does the teacher's wife think that, there was a difference in the way he was having his food, or the way he was drinking water, or the way he cleaned the floor after a meal? Did she think that there was a difference? He doesn't know. And he wants to highlight that, religion does not matter, because it does not alter or change the way in which a person eats the food. The way a Christian or a Muslim or a Hindu eats the food is the same. There is not going to be any difference. Now, when Dr. Kalam was about to leave Shivasubramania Iyer's house, his teacher invited him for dinner once again. When the teacher saw that Dr. Kalam was in doubt, Dr. Kalam was hesitating, he told Dr. Kalam to not be upset. And he added that if you have decided to change the system, then you have to go against the norms of the society. And he decided to be strong and brave and confront the situation. And the next week, when Dr. Kalam visited his teacher's house for dinner, the teacher's wife made him sit in the kitchen and served him food with her own hands. So this change had taken place by then. Then the Second World War was over and India's freedom was imminent. Indians will build their own India, declared Gandhiji. The whole country was filled with an unprecedented optimism. I asked my father for permission to leave Rameshwaram and study at the district headquarters in Ramanathapuram. So, when the Second World War got over in the year 1945, India was also about to get freedom, which happened in 1947. Now, Gandhiji, the father of our nation, who was a crucial part of our India's freedom struggle, said that Indians would build their own India. So the entire country was filled with hope and happiness. Imminent means about to happen. Okay, freedom was imminent means freedom was about to happen. And unprecedented optimism means never known hope, okay, for people. So everyone was experiencing such a feeling which they had never felt before, and they were all hoping for their freedom. Now, Dr. Kalam asked his father to allow him to go to Ramanathapuram, which was the district headquarters for higher studies. He told me, as if thinking aloud, Abul, I know you have to go away to grow. Does the seagull not fly across the sun alone and without a nest? He quoted Khalil Gibran to my hesitant mother. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. So, Dr. Kalam's father gives him the reply, when he asked for the permission to move to Ramanathapuram for higher studies. Dr. Kalam's father tells him that, he knew that Dr. Kalam had to go away so that he could move ahead in life. So he gives an example of a seagull which flies away in the sky all alone, and it does not have a nest. So it means it does not have a home of its own, as it keeps on flying from one place to another. So when Dr. Kalam's mother came to know that, he was about to leave home and wanted to go to Ramanathapuram for higher studies, she was very upset. Dr. Kalam's father tried to calm her down and told her a few lines from the famous poem titled Your Children, written by Khalil Gibran. He said that your children are not your children, they are the children of life. So don't think that you can rule your children. They are a result of life's desire for itself. They have their own thoughts. So yeah, he asks her to give her children the freedom to fulfill their thoughts. Okay, so with this, we come to the end of the lesson. Hope you have understood this. Thank you, children.